I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, coming to you from Wisconsin late on this Tuesday evening, April 22nd. Little quick commercial. Stampin' Up! Has announced that they are offering us free shipping for not one, not two, but for 3 days. I've not seen that before. I've only seen free shipping for one day at a time. So this is pretty exciting. So it'll give me some time not to rush my order. Um, and even if I did need to rush my order, it wouldn't matter because I have 3 days. I could put more orders and not have to do more shipping. Who likes to pay for shipping? I know I don't. So here's your chance to skip the shipping. All right, let's put that away. What we're going to work on tonight is another card using the basic card designs that are listed in these templates or these sketches that Stampin' Up! Provided in the current catalog that's on page 22. Okay, and I can't tell if I'm kind of drooping here. We'll try to straighten this out a little bit, but hopefully it won't be a problem. So as I was looking over these sketches, I thought, I haven't used this paper for a bit, and this is on the last chance list. So a full pack of paper, which I think is normally $12.50, this is now marked down to $10. If you like this paper, and I don't have a whole lot left because I used most of it, but there's some really pretty designs in here, and we're gonna use probably just two of them with this design, but I'll show you how it works. So if you like this paper, you'll want to get it before it's gone, because once it's gone, it's gone. They're not going to get any more. All right. It's not currently showing as low inventory, but that could change. We just never know when people will order things. So this is the Countryside Inn 12 by 12 designer series paper. Um, and it's gorgeous paper, which is why I don't have that much left. All right. And like I said, we're going to use this template here. Hopefully you can see that. Hopefully the light's good enough up there. But basically it's your card base. I'm going to use Misty Moonlight. Pardon me. I'm going to use Misty Moonlight. I'm going to use probably two of these pieces of paper. We'll see. And I'm going to use a sentiment from this Greetings for All Mix and Match ephemera pack. These are pretty cool because when you don't necessarily have the time to get out all of the things and do your stamping and cleaning and all of that, you can use some pre-stamped sentiments. So you get 2 sheets of each, and these are pretty universal. I mean, they'd be year-round messages, of course, because you've got Merry Christmas here. Obviously, it's April, so we're not doing Merry Christmas. Excuse me, but there's a lot on here. So you've got the graduation, so you can say congratulations, happy birthday, thank you. I saw sorry for your loss. So there's a bunch of them on here. I am going to, I think, make this a congratulations card. And I'm just going to punch that out quick here. And we'll set these others aside. So like I said, you get 2 sheets of each of those 3 sets of sentiments. Okay, so we're going to use that. We're going to use our Misty Moonlight card base. So this is an 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to set that off to the side. I've already used my bone folder to burnish that. I'm going to just set this off to the side so we can kind of keep track of this. So what I need to do is just find some papers, some designs that I like. I like that one. I like this one. I also like this one here, this dark blue one. So I'm just going to cut several of these. And I'm going to cut them down to 4 inches by 5 1/4. So 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'll do this one 4 by 5 1/4. I was really pleased the last time my granddaughter crafted with me. I told her, well, one of the last times, I guess it wasn't the exact last time, I think. I'm going to do 4. I almost went to 5 1/4 there. But I had mentioned to her that she needed to cut a piece to 5 1/4. Now she's in 1st grade and she went right up to the 5 1/4. She knew right exactly where she needed to go. So that's really good that she's paying attention to her math. All right. So let's put these away and get this out of our way. And then what I'm going to do is, I think I should be able to cut all 3 of these. Usually I only do 2. But I'm going to do 1.5 inches. Well, if we do it by the template, they're doing it in the middle. So if this is 4 1/4, we would do 2 1/8. So let's do 2 1/8. And I think I'm going to cut these individually because I don't want to have them messed up. So 2 1/8. We'll go 2 1/8. And 2 1/8. So then what I'll do is we're going to cut maybe about 1.5 inches off of the bottom and 1.5 inches-ish off the top. Maybe I'll do 2 inches. Make the top a little bit different. Now when I cut with my trimmer, there's a ridge here. So your paper should go all the way up to the ridge, or if you're somebody who likes to have it down where you can see it closer, you want to push it down this way. But I always take my cutting blade and push up toward that stop. And if I have it down here, then I would want to go down because that way my paper won't shift a little bit. And it just keeps pushing it in the direction that I want it to go. I don't worry so much with the scoring blade because I go back and forth with that one. The other kind of benefit, I guess, of always cutting in the same direction is as your blade dulls, then all you need to do is take it out and then turn it around and you'll have the sharper edge of your blade. Okay, so then you can kind of keep track maybe a little bit better of when your blade is worn out. Just flip it around and then you've extended it. If you go back and forth randomly, you're not going to notice a difference so much. All right, I hope that made sense. So now let's move this over here and we are going to take one of these, put it there. I'm going to take one of these and I flip that one over, put it there. And then we'll take, can't do that one, let's do this one. This is kind of like what they call a shuffle card, I think. And then let's take this one. Okay. Now this one has some edges on here because with the designer series paper, it's basically dyed or printed rather on the core paper, whereas cardstock is dyed all the way through. So I can see the white edges here. I'm going to go get my Misty Moonlight and we're going to just kind of colorize those edges a little bit. so they're not so obvious. And there's a couple of ways you can do that. So let me get a marker too. Because like I said, we can do it a couple of different ways. But what I'll end up doing is just dipping the edge of this cardstock. Can you see where it's kind of rough on the edge there? We can basically dye the core of our paper so that doesn't show. Okay, so all right, so that's one way of getting rid of that white. Another way of getting rid of the white is to just take a marker or a Stampin' Blend and just run it along the edge. That way you cover up that white core, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to do all the edges because I have obviously cut this down. That one's not bad. We'll just dip that one in the ink pad. I think we're good to go there. So now what we'll do is we'll just place these on here. And the template doesn't show any space in between those pieces. So it actually shows them cut down a little smaller. So you see a little bit more of the base. And we could get the same effect by overlapping these a little bit maybe. This one goes that way, I guess. I had it sideways. Or we could trim those down a little bit, either way. So if you want a little bit more of a border, you can trim them down. Or if you want a space between the layers. Or let's say you wanted to have another layer on here, like maybe white. Let's try that once, just so you can kind of see what it would look like. So if I take these pieces, and let's say I wanted another layer here, we could put these in. And let's just not look at this edge. We'll just kind of show you how this would look this way. So that would give you more definitive edges for like those dark pieces. But I don't know if I kind of like that. The other thing we could do is a white card base with the Misty Moonlight edging on here. So it would kind of look like this. So that would be our card base. And I don't think that would give enough definition between those squares. So let's do it how the template shows us. And I'm going to save these for another rendition because we'll be able to use all of those pieces. So let's go back to what we were doing here. And if you've just joined me, oops, this one's going to come over here. Let me know where you're watching from. But we are doing a template or a sketch card using this one. So page 22 of the current annual catalog, there are 22 sketches down here. Tonight I thought I would do this one, and I'm using a greeting from the ephemera pack. So I think what I'm going to do is trim these down a little bit. So let's just take a 1/4 inch off. That's not a whole lot, but it might be just enough. I'd rather make them bigger to start with when I'm not sure exactly what my plan is. I'd rather make them a little bit bigger than have them too small and not have enough cardstock to do what I want to do. So you can always take more off, but you can't add it back on. All right. So this goes like this, I think. And I messed up my pieces again. I thought I was only doing a 1/4 inch. That was there. There we go. I'm making it more difficult than it needs to be, I think. Okay. So I think I need to take a little bit more off of one of these. Don't know if it needs to be a 1/4 inch. Let's just glue one of these down. We'll start gluing these down. And I need to get a new bottle of glue because that last one I was using is definitely empty. All right. Oops. And I like to just use a very light layer of my multi-purpose liquid glue. But I like to get all the way around the edges. This side is cute too, but I think we cut it this way. We'll just put a little, actually no, this didn't have a gap between the two layers. All right. I bet what I did was trim the wrong side of that one. Let's see if I can, I think we're on this one. I don't know what I did. Because I'm going to have, I put this one back here. I need to take a little bit more off of here. Let's do a 1/4 inch off of this one. Hopefully I didn't mess it up too badly. Sometimes I just make these things more complicated than they need to be. We'll have these lined up and we'll have these with a gap. It is what it is. It'll be fine, right? Cover up that white edge again. And get this on here. And then this can go here. That'll work. And then this, I think I will use dimensionals. Now I have some around the edge of my dimensional sheet here, so I'm going to use those because they're like half-size dimensionals. And I guess I'll put one more on here so it doesn't flatten out on me. Okay. Maybe. There we go. So I'll put this over here. And then maybe some pearls would look good. We've used a lot of these, and I think I'm just going to put them right in here so that it looks like it's what I wanted to do. But I did it on purpose. Okay, so let me get this out of the way. We'll bring that sketch back in, the template. Put this away so I don't lose them. Those are almost gone. All right, so here is our template. Get these out of the way. So here's the template. Here's what we came up with. And we could probably even put like a little bow or something on there, but I think that's probably enough. In fact, let's do 2 more little pearls here because I'm not liking quite how that looks. So we're going to put one over here. And we'll put one more here because I like to have odd numbers of them. All right. So that's kind of our shuffle card using a template. And this Countryside Inn paper that is on the last chance list. So that's what I have for you tonight. Let me know what you come up with as far as if you use any of these sketch designs or not. I think they're a really nice way to spark some creativity when you're not quite sure what you want to do. And we may do a few more of these over the next few days or weeks. So thanks for popping in and spending a little time with me. And until next time, happy stamping.